Our nation's highest court took a sledgehammer to one of this country's most progressive laws from the civil rights era that guaranteed minority representation in Congress. So as one would expect, the president had some prepared remarks on the matter.
Tell me about what happened.
Well, some think that the ruling could create more Republican-held congressional seats in the South.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's the kind of ruling I like. When did that happen?
When? Oh, it happened just after you did everything you could to specifically put conservative justices on the court who would take our country back to a time when minorities had fewer rights. But I'm just ballparking it. There is no other way to describe today other than a massive step backwards for civil rights in America. What the Supreme Court did was essentially gut Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which guarantees black or brown representation in congressional districts. And the racial element of this decision cannot be overstated.
The court here today effectively constitutionalizes a color blindness principle almost completely, absent the showing of intention. And what that means is that even the remedies for racial discrimination, the remedies that are designed to prevent racial discrimination, are themselves unconstitutional violations of the 14th and 15th Amendments, the irony being that that is what the Voting Rights Act was passed in order to enforce.
What these conservative justices said today was that those laws that were passed to help those burdened by America's racism are in fact racist. The thing that was supposed to help oppress people is really the thing doing the oppressing. It's like blaming a fire extinguisher for causing the fire, but also racist. But while this Supreme Court ruling is horrible, there's something even worse underneath, which is the reason Donald Trump, his administration, and the Republican Party as a whole are celebrating today's Supreme Court decision. To them, it is a win for white people, and that has been their goal since the beginning. These people believe that if they simply avoid saying certain words, that they can refute the label of racist. But, hate to break it to them, just because you don't say the words, doesn't mean you're not saying the words.
We ended DEI in America.
President Obama, he's building his library in Chicago. It's a disaster. And he said something to the effect, I only want DEI, I only want woke. He wants woke people to build it. Well, he got woke people, and they have massive cost overruns. The job is stopped. I don't know. It's a disaster. And I don't like that happening because I think it's bad for the presidency.
Yup. That's why he doesn't like these construction delays, because it looks bad for the presidency. Unfortunately, the East Wing couldn't be reached for comment. Through their relentless, cynical messaging, Republicans have been able to turn the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion, a framework specifically aimed at uplifting those who were held down by America's past racist policies, into a dirty word.
DEI was prevailing. Everything was turning woke. We were losing our nation.
Listen, the problem with DEI is that you can't actually have any accountability for people who are beneficiaries or the recipients of DEI policy.
We're saving this nation. I mean, DEI is out the window, Benny. I mean, you no longer have Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem. You no longer have a Budweiser going woke as hell, or all of this is dead.
You see, to them, a black man kneeling during the national anthem is anti-American, but kicking Americans off of healthcare, off of food assistance, and making their groceries less affordable is somehow peak patriotism. And it is no accident that the people Donald Trump seems to be most fond of also happen to traffic in a similar speaking style.
In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
That's right. It's not just those couch cushions. JD likes to screw minorities too. But there they are. All the examples of racism from Donald Trump's administration. Yep, there are no more instances of these people being...
The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department. No more DEI offices.
When other parts of the department wanted to go woke, the Marine Corps stood strong.
We're not tearing stuff down. We're done with that. We're putting statues back. We're putting paintings back. We're recognizing our history. We're restoring the names of bases as we've done across the country because we're proud of our history, as difficult as it may have been in some chapters. We're going to teach it, we're going to live it, and we're going to fight for it.
Yup. We're going to teach America's history no matter how painful it may be.
President Trump says he has instructed his lawyers to scour through America's museums to rid them of exhibits he considers woke, specifically citing exhibits on slavery. President Trump targeted the Smithsonian museums, saying they are, quote, out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been.
Look, I don't want to say that something is wrong when the President of the United States is demanding our museums teach our children about all of the good parts of slavery, but I am saying that something is enough wrong that it's worth taking a good look under the hood. At what point are we allowed to say that there is a pattern here? Because this sure felt like one of those moments.
His account reposted a video shortly before midnight last night depicting President Obama and the former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes in a jungle. The White House initially defended the post, eventually deleted the post, and then blamed the post on a staffer.
That's right. A staffer posted the tweet. Someone else wrote this birthday message, and this guy is just a doctor. Donald Trump and the Republicans have spent years doing everything they can to make casual racism acceptable again.